2 Chronicles Chapter 9. When the Queen of Sheba heard about Solomon's fame, she came to test him with challenging questions in Jerusalem, accompanied by a great retinue, camels bearing spices, and abundant gold and precious stones. When she arrived and spoke with Solomon about all that was on her mind, Solomon answered all her questions. There was nothing hidden from Solomon that he did not explain to her. Upon seeing the wisdom of Solomon and the grandeur of the palace he had built, the sumptuous food at his table, the seating of his officials, the attendance of his ministers and their clothing, his cupbearers and their clothing, and his burnt offerings that he offered at the Lord's temple, it left her breathless. And she said to the king, "The report I heard in my own land about your deeds and wisdom was true. But I didn't believe the reports until I came here and saw it with my own eyes. Indeed, not even half of your wisdom was told to me. You exceed the report I heard. Your attendants and officials are fortunate. They get to stand in your presence and listen to your wisdom. Blessed be the Lord your God, who delighted in you to set you on his throne as king for the Lord your God. Because your God loved Israel and wanted to establish them forever, he made you king over them to administer justice and righteousness." Then she gave the king 120 talents of gold, a great quantity of spices, and precious stones. Never again did such a quantity of spices come to King Solomon as those the Queen of Sheba gave him. In addition, Hiram's servants and Solomon's servants, who brought gold from Ophir, also brought algum wood and precious stones. With the algum wood, the king made steps for the Lord's temple and the king's palace, and lyres and harps for the singers. Never before had anything like them been seen in the land of Judah. King Solomon gave the Queen of Sheba everything she desired and asked for, besides what he had given her from his royal bounty. Then she and her servants returned to her own country. Each year, the weight of gold that came to Solomon totaled 666 talents. Besides what came from merchants, traders brought gold and all kinds of merchandise to King Solomon. King Solomon made 200 large shields of beaten gold, 600 shekels of gold each. 300 small shields of beaten gold, 3 minas of gold each. He put them in the house of the forest of Lebanon. The king also made a great ivory throne and overlaid it with pure gold. 6 steps led up to the throne, with a footstool of gold attached to it. The throne had armrests on either side, and 2 lions stood beside the armrests. 12 lions were standing there on the 6 steps, one at each end. Nothing like it had ever been made in any other kingdom. All of King Solomon's drinking cups were gold, and all the utensils of the house of the forest of Lebanon were pure gold. There was no silver, because in Solomon's time it was considered as worthless as stones. The king had ships of Tarshish that went out to sea with Hiram's servants. Once every 3 years the ships of Tarshish would arrive bearing gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks. King Solomon surpassed all the kings of the earth in wealth and wisdom. All the kings of the earth sought an audience with Solomon to hear the wisdom God had put in his heart. Year after year, each visitor would bring his tribute, articles of silver and gold, clothing, weapons, spices, horses, and mules. Solomon had 4,000 stalls for his chariot horses, and 12,000 horses. The district governors brought horses and chariot horses to Solomon. The rest of the events of Solomon's reign, from beginning to end, are written in the records of Nathan the prophet, the prophecy of Ahijah the Shilonite, and the visions of Iddo the seer, concerning Jeroboam son of Nebat. Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel for 40 years. Then Solomon rested with his fathers and was buried in the city of his father David. His son Rehoboam became king in his place.